Hello friends, today our topic is harmful effects of drugs on individuals. Harmful, causing or likely to cause harm is called harmful. Effects, consequences of relationship between a part or a whole is called of. Drugs. A drug is a substance that causes a change in an organism's physiology or psychology when consumed. Drugs on individual, a single human being as distinct from a group is called on individuals. The body gets addicted to them and works only if these are taken regularly. The body gets addicted mean addiction is when the body or mind badly wants or needs something in order to work right. People can be addicted to drugs, cigarettes, alcohol, caffeines, and many other things is called the body gets addicted to them. Refer two or more things. Works only means exertions or effort. If these are taken regularly, means medications should be taken regularly to make sure that you have an effective amount of drug in your body at all the times. If drugs is not provided, the body starts itching and feels a lot of discomfort. If drugs is not provided, the body starts itching means muscular aches and pains may also be sign of conditions affecting your body such as infections and feels lot of discomfort means other drugs can cause anxiety for several weeks after you stop taking them. This addiction is very powerful. This addiction is very powerful means addiction is a psychological and physical activity in ability to stop consuming a chemical drug activity or substance even though it is causing psychological and physical harm. It may lead one to do crimes like theft, stealing, and drugs trafficking extra. It may lead mean accept that do crimes like means an action or omissions which constitute an offense and is punishable by law. Theft, the action or crime of robbery, stealing, take another person's property without permissions. Drug trafficking means it is a global illicit trade involving the cultivations, manufactures, distribution and sale of substances which are subject to drug prohibitions laws is called drugs trafficking. It causes great loss to health. It causes great loss to health means drugs use increase your risk of mental health issues such as anxiety, depression and psychosis. Wealth causes great loss to wealth means drug abuse draining of families resources. Mental control means drugs abuse caused many brain related problems such as depression, anxiety, extra, social status, extra. The status of the person means abuses of drugs caused financial stress, lack of education about substance abuse, and insufficient resources for treatment. This addiction can only be spotted by strong determinations. Means addiction is a psychological, physical inability to stop consuming a chemical drug marked by with a hard work. Hospitalizations mean admission to hospital for treatment. Sympathetic attitude from family and friends means an empathetic person is someone who can share another person's feeling, a person with whom one has a bond of mutual affection, typically one exclusive of family relations, is called sympathetic attitude from family and friends. Some of the effects of drugs on individuals are as listed below. Effects of drugs on individuals means stroke, mental confusion and brain damage, lung disease, problem with memory, attention, and decision making which make daily living more difficult is called effects of drugs on individuals, or as listed below means marked as under, cause a serious damage to nervous system means mental health problems such as anxiety disorder, depressions is called cause of serious damage to nervous system. Drugs addict neglect their studies means those who are habitual to addictions fail to care for properly devotions of time attention to gaining knowledge of an academic subjects and also not paid attention towards their job and forget important business or family work. Forget important business or family work means fail to remember. Business is the activity of making one's living or making money. All forget the responsibility of his family member. They therefore bring frustration not only for themselves but also for their family and community. They therefore bring frustrations means for that reason a feeling of anger or annoyance caused by being unable to do something. Not only for themselves means what also for yourself, what also for their family and community, what also means should be the goal for their means person. Frustration for family and community, frustrations means the feeling of being upset. For family, a group consisting of two parents and their children living together as a unit, the feeling of upset being in the family. Community, a group of people living in the same place having a particular characteristics in common is called community. AIDS has spread rapidly in drugs addicts due to sharing of common needles for injections of drugs. AIDS, the full form of AIDS is A for acquired, I for amino, D for deficiency, S for syndrome. AIDS, a disease in which there is a severe loss of the body cellular immunity, greatly lowering in the resistance to infection and maladies is called AIDS. Has spread rapidly. Spread means layout. Rapidly, quickly. Drugs addicts, a person who addicted to an illegal drug due to sharing of common needles for injections of drugs means needles or syringe is shared by multiple individuals to administer in intravenous drugs such as heroin, steroids and hormones. This is a primary vector for blood-borne diseases which can be transmitted through blood is called needles or syringe is shared by multiple individuals. Narcotic drugs are obtained from illegal sources. It encouraging smuggling and other antisocial activities. Narcotic drugs, psychoactive compound with sleep-inducing properties and euphoric properties as well, is called narcotics drugs. Obtained through illegal sources means acquired by means illegal. Drugs are those that are not prescribed by a doctor or bought at drugstore is called obtained through illegal sources. It encouraging smuggling and other antisocial activities. Give support to illegal movement of drugs into or out of a country where an individual or group cause trouble, offense, inconvenience or suffering to people in the local community is called encouraging smuggling and other antisocial activities. Drugs adversely affect cardiovascular systems. Most illegal drugs can have adverse cardiovascular effects ranging from abnormal heart to heart attack. Injecting illegal drugs also can lead to cardiovascular problems such as collapsed veins and bacterial infections of the blood vessels and heart valves is called drugs adversely affect cardiovascular system. Continuously use of narcotic drugs would causes impotency. Continuously use of narcotics drugs means with not continuously use of drugs means without interpretations any class of substance that blunt the senses and they may cause addictions. Would causes impotency means drugs that most affects sexual arousals. Men did not improve their sexual performance is called causes impotency. Chromosomal aberrations and productions of abnormal babies. Chromosomal aberrations or abnormality in the structure or number of chromosomes are often responsible for genetic disorders. Production of abnormal babies means newborn. Drug withdrawal happens when a baby is exposed to addictive drugs while still in the mother's womb. The baby can develop a dependency on the drug and may have withdrawal symptoms shortly after birth. Addictions to narcotics drugs would lead to death by a pulmonary arrest, heart failure, of some other vital organs. Addictions of drugs would lead to death by pulmonary arrest means in cardiac arrest the heart abruptly stops beating without prompt interventions. It can result in the person's death. Heart failures means heart failures makes it sound like the heart is no longer working at all. There is nothing that can be done. Some other vital organs, lungs, brain, kidney, and organ of the body which performs a sufficiently important function that damage to the organ can cause death. Eyesight badly affected and hearing capacity also lost. Drugs addictions remain continuously which cause of deaf blindness to users. Coordinations of various body parts is slowly lost. the part of the brain that coordinates voluntary movements and controls balance, causing loss of coordinations. Often people cannot control their arms, legs, making them take wide, unsteady steps when they walk. Drugs adversely affect cardiovascular system, means illegal drugs can have adverse cardiovascular effects ranging from abnormal heart rate to heart attacks. Cardiovascular problems such as collapsed veins and bacterial infections of the blood vessels and heart valves. Drugs addictions not only causes very serious health problem for the addictions to drugs would ultimately lead to death, means the addiction of drugs finally the end of the human beings. Drugs addiction not only causes very serious health problem for the individual concerned but also creates problem for his family. Drugs addictions means drug seeking continue use despite harmful consequences and long lasting changes in brain. Not only causes mean action or situation make happen. Very serious health problem for the individual concerned, means abuse of drugs can cause serious harm to physical health problems like liver damage, heart disease, mental illness. An addict remains aloof from the family and his relations with other members of the family become strained. And addictions from the families means a addict means a person who is addicted to a particular substance, typically illegally drugs, is called an addict. Remains aloof means to stay behind. Aloof, remain from the family, means someone who is aloof is not warm and friendly, instead being distant and reserved. And addictions and his relations with the members of family became strained, means family members may also react to a loved one's addiction by stepping